Richie's final crash out had him one step short of pulling an OJ. Cause when his dad died later that year, he lost all grip on reality and crashed out like no one else on this list. The same can't be said about Richie Incognito, cause even though he had a similar trajectory to AB, one career-long crash out, nothing compares to what happened to him after football. But it all started before he was even in the NFL, cause back at Nebraska, he was a bomb waiting to go off. He was bulldozing defenders way after the whistle, talking trash to refs, and even throwing hands with teammates. And as Richie racked up ejections like they were trophies, skipped mandated anger management programs, the school eventually decided they had enough. But the NFL was still willing to give him a shot. And honestly, what a smooth-brained decision that ended up being. Because in the NFL, he wasn't just known, he was legendary for being dirty, and consistently showed up in the top 3 dirtiest players list every single year. Dude was gouging people's eyes out, dishing out late hits, and getting into scuffles every game. But on the field, out-of-pocket contact was just the beginning of Richie's downfall. He could have shrugged off the flags, fines, and ejections till he dropped, but the first real nail in the coffin, Bullygate. See, during his time on the Miami Dolphins, he was teammates with Jonathan Martin, a black player. And even though race normally wouldn't matter, in this case, it was the entire conversation. Because in 2013, Martin accused Richie of relentless, brutal harassment, including violent threats against Martin's mother, himself, and an unbelievable amount of homophobic and racial slurs. Richie was suspended, shamed, and exiled from the league. But if you thought that was rock bottom for him, you don't know Richie. Richie's final crash out had him one step short of pulling an OJ. Cause when his dad died later that year, he lost all grip on reality and crashed out like no one else on this list. This dude walked into the funeral home not to say goodbye, but to explode with rage. He was punching the wall, throwing over caskets, and yelling at employees. But the craziest part? He demanded the staff to cut off his dad's head for, in his own words, research purposes. When they understandably said no, he threatened to kill them all with guns in his truck. Someone thankfully called the cops, and they arrested him in the parking lot. After confirming he did indeed have a lot of guns in his truck, Richie went from college fights to dirty player dominance, to locker room scandals, to public breakdowns. This man probably just got bullied for being fat growing up and decided to crash out on the entire world.